Hello, everyone. I'm Lori Walker. I'm the Director of Client Experience with Gossage Performance Consulting, and I'm here with Tonya Gossage, our CEO and President of Gossage Performance Consulting, and Nick Kobzar, the founder of Next Level Up Consulting. Both Tonya and Nick are Grant Cardone licensees, which means they're authorized to teach Grant Cardone's content. Now, Tanya and Nick, I understand that you both have two events actually coming
Yes,
up
we
in
do.
October. And the event is called the 10X Business Bootcamp. Can you tell me where these events will be, what time there will be? Tell me all about these.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and start.
Okay.
I'll tell you about the Fayetteville event, and then Nick can tell you about the Little Rock event. But the Fayetteville event is going to be October the 23rd in Fayetteville, Arkansas, at the Hilton Garden Inn, and that's located at 1325 North Palac. Lori, did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes.
Palac
Correct.
Drive.
Mhm. Okay. What about the Little Rock event, Nick?
You'll be more familiar. What did it used to be called? I know it's on October 25th. We're doing the same event, so we're going to have a choice of 2 days, whatever is most convenient for you. You can come to both. If you have a team, you can send your team to one or the other, depending on their schedules as well. And what's the name of the location, ladies?
It's the Chanel Event Venue, formerly Noah's Event Venue.
Yes, and that's going to be on the Monday.
Yes, and I'll just go ahead and throw out there the address for that is the 21 Rawlings Circle,
Okay.
and again, formerly known as Noah's.
Okay. So at a high level, tell me what exactly is going to be discussed in the 10X Bootcamp, 10X Business Bootcamp.
Yes. Nick, you want to take that?
Yeah, well, basically at a high level, it's going to go over sales. It's going to go over marketing. Basically what it's going to do, it's going to be a condensed, compressed version of how you can basically double your sales over the next 60 days, best practices, what Grant Cardone has proven over the 35 years of his career and his authorized licensees. I'm a master Grant Cardone licensee, so I've been studying it for 20 years. I've used it. Yeah, I've used it personally to earn and generate millions for myself and tens of millions of dollars for the companies that I've worked inside of. So now we're bringing it to the masses, starting in Little Rock and Fayetteville with my friend Tonya.
That's great. That sounds so exciting.
Yeah, so I might even add on to what Nick has said. I'll kind of break down part of the agenda. As he mentioned, money and finances, the business cycle, the sales process, follow-up and phones, and scaling your business. So that's some additional details that both Nick and I'll be going over.
Okay, that's great. Thank you both. So it's called the 10X Business Bootcamp. Why not 2X, 3X? We all know about double or triple. Why 10X?
Well, I'll go ahead and take that and then let Nick add on to what I've said. So for over 30 years, Grant Cardone has been helping everyone from individual sales professionals to Fortune 500 companies build and implement and execute high efficiency sales processes and education programs to produce predictable record-breaking results. Grant, he gets massive he sets massive targets, and he wants to help his following reach 10x results, not only in just life, but their family, their businesses, their investments, and everything that they do. And one of the things that I really like, and you'll hear both Nick and I talk about this in a minute, but the licensees that join his program want us to get 10x in our lives and our businesses. And as Nick mentioned, he's got 20 years experience with Grant, and he can share more about that. But Nick, share why you believe it's 10x.
Yeah, absolutely. So 10x, my definition, interpretation of it is it's taking massive action over long periods of time. Okay, so taking massive actions persistently over long periods of time. So it's basically, it's about having it all. It's about having the lifestyle. It's about having your professional, your income, your family, your spiritual, your recreation, on all the different dynamics operating at the maximum efficiency, right? So it's really good. And all the knowledge, all the information is there. So we want to share it with you so people can start implementing it. And even if you're doing well, it's not like, hey, I'm doing good. It's how do you get to the next level? And how do I push myself further? How do I keep growing? How do I keep setting new goals? How do I have something that's going to inspire me and actually pull me forwards towards it in the future? But then we actually give the information that you can apply to make sure you're doing it consistently.
Awesome. Well, I mean, who wouldn't want to 10x every aspect of their life? So I know I'm definitely excited to hear what you two have to say. Now, Nick, I'll pose this next question to you. Who should attend the 10X Business Bootcamp? Who are you looking to see in the audience?
Well, we'd love to see anybody who's trying to improve their condition, improve the results. Ideally, if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, if you have a sales team, if your sales aren't where they should be, if your results aren't really where you'd like them to be, if you feel like you're struggling or you've maybe plateaued and you're doing the same thing over and over, if you have a staff with a high turnover, if you have a green staff and they need the knowledge and the know-how, if you're a leader and you want to be able to lead your people, the best way to do it is through action. To become the best way to inspire change is to become the one you want to see in your people. So anybody, it really applies for anybody who wants to improve their condition. If the results have stagnated, if they're not where they should be, if you have seasoned reps who haven't really grown or gotten new information in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe learning is a lifelong process.
Absolutely.
Right. And continuous learning. And, when you invest in yourself, that investment never goes down. You always have that knowledge. You always have that investment of self. And, if your job becomes easier because you're getting more results, you're generally more motivated. And then as the group improves, everything will improve. Right. So, if your results, I've said it a few times in this answer to this question, but if your results aren't where they should be or where you'd like them to be, if you've stagnated or you just want to do better, income-wise, professionally, personally, we've got something for everyone. And you're gonna get more than your money's worth, to say the least.
And who wouldn't want to make an investment in themselves? What better investment can you make?
That's right.
Tonya, do you have any to add to that list?
I mean, he summed it up great, but who are those professions? Anybody that sells Girl Scout cookies, network marketers,
right.
New and used sales cars, individuals, roofers, bricklayers, bankers, real estate agents, insurance agents,
companies,
anybody in sales, anybody that owns a business, that absolutely fit every single thing that he talked about should come to the event.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, you both are in the same program. You're both Grant Cardone licensees, but obviously your journey to that has been different. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about yourselves. Who's going to be teaching this content? Nick, you want to start with your journey?
Yeah.
Being a licensee?
Yeah. So it's the best program I've ever done with Grant. I was introduced to him. I was around, just turned 20. I always had a knack for sales. I was doing telemarketing. I was making 200-300 calls a day, making not much more than minimum wage. And I wanted to make more money. I wanted to buy a car. So back then, people still read newspapers. There was a job. It said a company car and free training. And I'm like, man, that sounds awesome. So I went down to the mall, the Galleria. I bought a shirt and tie for $10 in a box. And I was like, I want to start. I presented the best version of myself. They said, okay, kid, you're hired. And I'm like, I require a vehicle in order to start. And the guy's like, sure. I'm like, whoa. Then I'm like, and insurance. And he's like, done. And I'm like, well, what happens if you don't sell anything? And he's like, well, it's like any other job, son, we'll fire you. And I was like, whoa. So I started my first day. I was nervous. I was scared, but I'm like, I'm going to get the training. I told my girlfriend, who's my wife at the time, this is it. I'm not going to just work for minimum wage. I'm wearing a suit. I'm a businessman now. I didn't have an education. I didn't have anything like college or university. I went straight to the workforce. And they handed me a stack of CDs. I still have them, right? And I'm like, and they're like, listen to this. They're like, listen to this, kid, and listen to it for a week, and don't come out until you've listened to all 10 of the CDs. And I'm like, really? This is my training? this is what's going to make me six figures. This is going to take me out of poverty. And I listened to it. I sold a car like almost immediately. And
Wow.
I went from making like $1,000, $1,500 a month to $5,000 to $10,000. So over the course of 4 or 5 short years, it actually 10x my income from $25,000 to $250,000. So what Grant's done on my journey, how I became a licensee, is I used that. And then at age 25, I became a sales manager. And then I was running a dealership and training sales teams. And then I was delivering this content. So I've been sharing it and teaching it prior to being a licensee. I've been involved in over 50,000 automotive transactions one way or another over the past 2 decades. So it helped me 10x my income more than once, multiple times. It's helped me acquire property. So I went from being like a renter to a landlord to a real estate investor. It's helped me accomplish all my goals. It helped me travel the world. Things that I couldn't imagine of when I used to write my goals down 20 years ago. And when this program was announced back in 2018, I was super interested. I was at this event that we're actually hosting, the Sales and Marketing Bootcamp. Now, along my journey, I developed a nasty habit of drinking. And I wanted to do the program, but I didn't trust myself as being reliable, being the quality individual that you may see before you, or the person that you know. People who know me now don't know the man I was 4 or 5 years ago. Still successful, but I had to do a lot of work on myself to become a licensee. And this program really helped me reset, restart, and recalibrate my life, because it gave me the inspiration. It gave me a goal. And then I used this program as the catalyst, the licensee program, as the inspiration to quit drinking to improve my condition, save the money to the program, and then now I teach others. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, like with certainty, 100%, it took me from poverty to millionaire, tens of millions for the businesses I worked inside, and it helped me conquer my alcohol problem. So now I want to share the same knowledge. It's the material, the content that's in here.
Wow.
So this is what I bring to my clients, and now I want to bring it to the masses, whether it's in Arkansas, Canada, US, or worldwide.
Wow, that's quite a journey.
Yes.
and surely your experience and what you bring to the table with how it's impacted you will resonate with your attendees and someone else. You'll be able to 10x their life. So Tonya, what about you? Your journey, I'm sure, is very different, but we'd like to hear your journey.
I mean, that's a fabulous story that Nick has. And like you said, it's going to resonate with many people who he's able to touch, you know, at the boot camp and outside the boot camp. And Nick coaches many people already today. But yes, my story is a little bit different. I have been a lifelong learner. Gosh, no telling how much money. I'm probably reaching about 200 grand at this point, maybe even more than that. And what I have invested in, you know, leadership, management, sales, personal success, and education, you know, at this point, Lori. But, you know, as I too don't have a college education, Nick. I don't know if you've heard me say that previously, but I had such a goal to aspire throughout my career, and was able to do that just through working hard and doing what others weren't willing to do throughout, you know, my job career. But when I left the corporate world and went into consulting, I knew I had to get a coach to do what I wanted to do going forward. And I invested in a coach. And as I was teaching in the classroom one day for one of my banking clients, COVID hit. And I was standing there teaching. And at the end of the day, I got an email that said, at the end of this week, there will be no more classes in the room. Yes. And I remember thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? Because while I was doing a lot of consulting work, I was at that time doing a lot of training work as well. And I thought, training is running my business right now. And what are we going to do? What am I going to do? Because at the time, it was just me and my business. And I was looking at bringing on others, but I thought, what am I going to do? And having a coach was extremely helpful because I had someone to talk to, but I knew I needed to go virtual. And so I thought, I have got to get what's up in here into some type of virtual process, and to be able to deliver to my clients. So I immediately started looking for a learning management tool. And I write content and have written content in the past, so I knew that was the way to go. And so as I started looking for that right tool, is when I found the coach really that I hired on to build my learning management portal. And so I went through that process for quite some time, got my training portal built and was writing content. But I found Grant Cardone through a YouTube video one day. And I thought, who is this dude? This cocky individual who is so hooked on himself. And I did not like him when I first started watching him because of the way he initially communicated. But when I saw him on the stage, I fell in love with him because I saw his heart and I saw the passion that he had talking to individuals about just the stage presence that he had and the hunger that he had about his audience, which was the world. And how he wanted to help people build such a life of freedom and growth and, just build their business to what they wanted it to be, and how he wanted to reach 8 billion people. And he couldn't do it by himself, but he was teaching and building up people, Nick, like you and I, to help him do it. And that was the moment that I fell in love with him. And I was like, I have no clue who this person was. I did not like, almost hated him because his language was so offensive at first. And I say at first, I still don't like his language, but I fell in love with who he was and what he was trying to do because he was so selfless. And I resonated with him because he was doing what I so desired to do and what I was doing at the bank where I came from. I wanted and tried so hard to pour myself into people and help them grow. And so my journey went from the bank to starting my consulting business, to working with my coach who helped me build my portal, to finding Grant, to then finding out through researching him and his website, to wanting to know more all about him, to finding out he had this licensee program. And Lori, you had come on and joined me at the time. You and I were spending countless hours pouring over building course content. And I was like, this man has exactly what we're trying to do. And I have to have it.
Right.
And so I picked up the phone and called them and said, you have something that you need to sell me right now. I have to have this. I don't know much about it, but I got to buy it. And that's how I came involved in the licensee program, because I thought it's going to save me money. It has the message I need. It has the content I need. And I have the portal, and I have the training experience. I have the speaking experience. I have exactly what this thing needs, and please sell it to me right now. But that's how I became involved in this journey of the Grant Cardone licensee. And that's probably more than what you wanted to know, but that's how I became involved in that and how it's changed my life.
It's exactly what I wanted to know.
That's awesome.
Yes, it is. I think you both are going to have a huge impact on anyone that would attend your events. I thank you for sharing your journeys with us. The next thing I want to ask is, you gave a list of various individuals and types of businesses that would benefit from attending your boot camp, your business boot camp. What 3 challenges do you think that those businesses will be able to address after attending the 10X Business Bootcamp? Tonya, I'll start with you. Can you give us the 3 that you think?
Well, so I think, some of the challenges, and Nick may come from a totally different place than me. Probably salespeople are not engaged. I know that as I've been making calls and talking to people here lately, that's what I'm finding out, is their salespeople aren't engaged in making the sales that they need to be, or they're struggling in keeping salespeople. That's another thing I'm finding. And their closing rates are low. And I think that comes from training. They don't have the training that they need. And then maybe building their brand and getting the attention on their business that they need. And Nick, having 20 years experience, he may see some other challenges, and I'd love to hear from him what he sees as challenges out there that we could help with.
Yeah, absolutely. So like a big part of it is the solution to disengagement. Like a lot of times when I speak to clients, you don't have to struggle anymore. We have the information. You don't have to struggle. I've been there. There've been times when there's ups and downs. But what you need is the information. And there's 2 sides of the coin, right? Like sometimes people don't want to invest in themselves. They're afraid to make a decision. They're afraid to invest in their people because what if they leave? The flip side in that is, what if you never make any investments in yourself or your team and they stay?
Right.
So yeah, definitely the solution to disengagement, that's a big one. We're also going to cover the business cycle and the sales cycle. It's too in-depth. That's what the workshop is about to go over on this call right now. But knowing what the difference is between the sales cycle and the business cycle. Grant for 20 years was in the sales cycle. Me for 15, 20 years was in the sales cycle. I didn't understand the business cycle. So there's this distinction between the two, and the business cycle is senior to the sales cycle. So you really have to understand what it is. And basically just knowing the sales process, follow-up, closing, we're going to touch on that too. So
mistakes made.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So if you're listening to this interview and you want to improve disengagement in your employees, learn the business cycle, learn the sales cycle, the sales process, how to close your deals, how to follow up on those deals, the 10X Business Bootcamp is for you.
Yeah. And we're going to help people increase their confidence and improve their techniques. Sometimes they're lacking confidence because they don't have the technique, and that's what we're going to provide.
Exactly. Now, all of us have seen advertisements and marketing for various workshops, various seminars, various conferences out there. Yes. Why should those that are seeing this interview attend your 10X Business Bootcamp?
It's game changing. It's the best 100%. It helped me change my life. I've done it over 5 times. I do it with my clients. I show them, I teach them, they get amazing results. It might be the catalyst. You only need one thing. You only need one thing in a workshop, one thing in a book to change your life. This is golden. Our goal is, if it's a $300 ticket, to deliver over $30,000 worth of content. If it's a $3,000 ticket, over $300,000. So you're going to get more than the price you paid. 10X, 100%. So we're going to over deliver the heck out of this thing. And the only the only mistake you can make is not not investing in yourself. So take the time to do it. Be good to yourself. Come see the information and connect with like-minded individuals. That's one of the best things. Whenever I go to these conferences and I attend, I build my network. I surround myself with people who are trying to improve. A lot of times I've got business deals, maybe not that day at the event, but down the road. So a lot of things bloom and grow just from the connection that I made too. So it's helped me a lot. And, why wouldn't you come?
Right. Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's completely right. Here in Arkansas, there is no other training that's going to compare to what we are offering in October. And not only in October, but going forward. But I am the only authorized Grant Cardone licensee in this state. And so I am experienced. I'm an experienced trainer, speaker, coach that can teach this world-class content. Nick is certified as well to teach Grant Cardone materials. So again, it's world-class content. It's going to be taught right here in Arkansas. And I cannot believe that there will be any other training session right here in this state that will beat this particular content or help you increase your revenues like this training session would.
100%.
So that's the reason why somebody should attend this course.
Yeah, it's world class and it's coming to your doorsteps. It really is best in the world, and you don't know what you don't know. And every time I learn from Grant, I learn something that I didn't know, and that's the reason right there. It's really is best in the class, guys. Best in the world.
Exactly. So, Nick, I know you are going to be traveling to Arkansas, all the way from Canada.
Yep.
So, what do you hope to accomplish while you're in Arkansas conducting this boot camp?
Yeah. Well, basically, I want to help my friend Tonya and support a fellow licensee as she's expanding through the Arkansas region. One. Two, I want to share the message, share the content that I've learned because it's been game changing for me. So the more people that I can get in front of, the more people that I can share this content with, the more people that I can help. That's what I like to do. I like to connect with fellow business owners, and I want to help spread the word to over 8 billion people in the world. I know it's been life changing for me, like literally life changing. Like I still had to do the work. That's the part that a lot of trainers, coaches, consultants, events, you still have to show up to the event, and then you still have to show up and do the work. But you need the information and you need the techniques, and you need to surround yourself with like-minded, and you need to learn what you must. You need to be aware of what you need to learn. So, maybe we can open some eyes and give people new ideas or expand their way of thinking. And then that might be the catalyst to change results. And I know it's a long-winded answer to the question, but I want to help change people's lives and be an impact, whether that's here in Toronto or in Arkansas or across Canada or across the US. So the more people I can help make an impact on, the better. That's my purpose.
Oh, great. Thank you. Tonya, this is your home state. You're born and raised in Arkansas. What's your end game? What do you hope to get from these two events?
Before I answer that, Lori, and my goal is huge. As I said a while ago, Grant says, create massive goals, create massive targets. And first of all, before I go into that, I want to just say, I am so thankful to Nick for coming all the way from Ontario, Canada, to do this event with me. And that is one thing I will say about all of us that are Grant Cardone licensees is there's no competition against any of us. We all work together to help each other, just like we work together to help Grant build this monstrosity environment of getting everyone to reach 10x results in their business, in their life. It's all about multiplication and duplication in every single thing that they do. And that's exactly what my end game is. And so to go into that, this event or these two events, Lori, Nick, this is the beginning for all of you that are listening and will be listening to the replay. This is just the beginning. Our focus, it's on sales, it's on marketing, leadership, mindset, customer service, personal success. And in addition to that, we have many, many, many other courses that we offer. And so with that said, in 2022, my plan is for Gossage Performance Consulting to become known as the company who helps entrepreneurs and small businesses grow through education and training events. We will do this. We are going to do this through webinars, through virtual events, through live events. We are very committed to events in 2022 and beyond. So I plan to take full advantage of my Grant Cardone licensee authorization and certification of being a 10X coach, speaker, and trainer. Once that certification, I'm still going through my certification, but I am authorized to teach his materials. But once that is fully reached, look out, Arkansas. But as Grant says, it's not about who you know, it's who knows you. So everybody in Arkansas is going to know who Tonya Gossage is and who Gossage Performance Consulting is. And so I plan for our impact to be so big that we will be known. And so, you know, what Nick and I are doing in October is just the beginning of something really large. And I believe that is my big, massive target, my big, massive goal. And I am looking forward to that coming to fruition.
Awesome.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What else can we say? Well, thank you so
10X.
much. 10X, that's right.
10X, everybody.
Thank you.
Come to the
both
event.
for this.
Yeah,
Yes,
guys,
thank you
come
both.
out. What's the worst thing that's going to happen if you come spend a day? We'd love to see you. We'd love to shake your hand, get to meet you in person. Come connect with like-minded, right? Make a decision. Come check it out, guys. You won't regret it.
So where can they register, Lori?
Yeah, Lori, where can they register, Lori?
They can register on GossagePerformanceConsulting.com. There is a registration form for an individual sign-up registration for $397. There's a duo ticket that's available for $597. And there's a team ticket that's available for a team of 4 for $997. If you log on to Gossage Performance Consulting, you'll see a flyer on the 10X Business Bootcamp and a registration form. We look forward to seeing everyone.
Yes.
Thank you both for joining us.
I just will also add, they can also go to businessbootcamp.tonyagossage.com to register. So either of those two locations, and we will take care of you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Lori, for hosting our interview.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Nick.